Okay, so for the sake of festooning, the first thing that I would like to do is we're going back to the maxillary and select the maxillary and leave the mandibular on, but we turn the teeth off. Actually, we can also turn the mandibular off. Now, here we have a very nice ridge, um, and I will work here with the mask function. So it seems like that something here is a little bit rough, so we'll clean this up with the shift button, but it doesn't seem to work. Okay, that doesn't matter. And for the sake of seeing things better, I just turn it on with the fill button just in one color. So the way to do this is I have to create here a base plate. And the way I do that is with the mask function. So I click the control button, my cursor becomes um, yellow, and that's the mask function. So if I move it, mask something again, whatever I mask will not move in space. So if I pull this up and down, it will not move. And that's the masking function. So anyway, let me go back to the draw button, and I will do this in fast forward because you get the concept of drawing around the vestibule. Now, if I have little spots that I want to remove, I basically have the mask button and push control, and then I push option as well. Then I basically remove the mask. So I invert it with option, um, the command, and if I let go, I'll put it back in. So instead, oops, instead, I'm not so 100% about I can remove. For example, this part here is a little bit too close to the border. I draw a little bit around the vestibule, And I think that, well, this patient doesn't show a lot of frena, but for example here we should actually mask this a little bit better, and we can see the frenum, and that will be actually in the way. So again, a control option will give me, the means to release that a little bit, and it looks a little bit better for a base plate. Or okay, yeah, I miss here something, and we'll close this up as well. And this looks fine. Now I'm going to do this on the mandible as well. So let's turn this off. And again, for time reasons, I will just do this in fast forward. Okay. Yeah, a little bit less here. So this looks okay. Now there's also here something that we can select, which is related only to masking. And what I like to do is usually I sharpen my mask, so this becomes all a little bit sharper. Same thing for the maxillary, masking, sharpen mask, and here we go. Now I have this mask, and I want to extrude this. This is my base plate, and what I do is I go to Subtool, and I have here the extract icon, and I will make this smooth, about 20, 22, doesn't matter, and at 0.5 thickness. Double has to be off because I extrude something off my mesh. And let's click the extract button and let's see how thick this becomes. This is what I got. Let's see again. So every time if I move it, it will disappear. Only if I accept it, it will stay. So let's see it from this angle. It's probably the best. Then I can evaluate the thickness a little bit of my base plate. And here we have a little issue, as you guys can see that somehow the masking went really down, and it created this extra extrusion here. So to get rid of it, Control Option, move this a little bit away from this part, and I hope this will disappear. Extract one more time. Yeah, now it's a little bit like there's a little edge, but I will clean this up after. Now, if I have this, what I do next is I will accept it, and if I accept it, I created my base plate. So this is my base plate, and this base plate is actually masked here and there, so I cannot really change anything, but this part is not masked, so I can modify that. And this is actually a good thing, because what happens is I would like to make this not that sharp. I go to masking this time, and instead of sharpen, I will blur my mask a little bit. And then I use my draw icon, click shift, and I will smooth things a little bit out. So smooth things a little bit out, especially this part here. I didn't like that. Just create a little bit more smooth surface, and if that's not enough, I can unmask the whole thing and go over it with this mode, because this will impart my, let's move this even further out, do it like something more round. Okay, have a more rounded surface. Anyway, so long story short, now I have a base plate that is actually aligned to my maxillary subtool. So let me just do this in transparent mode. So this is my base plate, and I can click on my teeth, turn this ghost mode away, and here we have the base plate in relationship to the teeth. And this is what I have. So I will leave it like intentionally blue just to see the contrast, and I will do the same procedure for the mandible, and that also I can fast forward because it will be exactly the same idea. So here we go. Everything transparent. Maybe we'll turn this off. So this is a little bit too much, and we can cut it also away. But let's just accept this for now, and then we will modify that when we'll festoon everything. So let's do that. Extract, accept. I'll see we have here more artifacts in the back. These guys here. Definitely not something that I want. Maybe it's also all a little bit too thick. Now, if the extraction function doesn't work out, we just delete the subtool. Very simple. Okay, it's gone. So going back to the yeah, this is the problem. So we have here also a masked part, and that's why I had that issue. Now to unmask that, we can just Control Shift and move this part away. Mask this part. Oops. Now, see, it reappears there, and this is what Zbrush does. When you mark something on one surface, the mask can go to the other surface, and there's a little trick that we should do to avoid this, and that the same thing happened here as well. So let me show you that quick. So first we will unselect or unmask this whole thing here on both sides. And we will remask it, but the way it has to be done is basically clicking the control button on to be in mask mode, go to brushes, and then at brushes we have here auto masking, and we have this command here, back face mask. So what this means is basically that the mesh that I mask will be only masked on one side, so it's not going to the whole mesh, only on the side that I'm working on. So if I click this on and I go back to mask, you can see that I can mask this part very nicely. Okay. A little bit of this. And I will not have anything on the back. So that's what backface masking on does. But the mask button has to be on when I do the switch. So going back here, remove a little bit of this part that we have enough room for the muscle. And here in the back there's nothing now. So let's go back to extract. So let's extract this one more time. And you can see that we don't have anything here in the back. It just doesn't appear. All right. So let's accept this. And this is our second base plate. So now if I turn the other base plate on, I have them both. And yeah, we'll do the same command again. Smooth this up. Masking. Blur mask. Blur mask. Also shrink it maybe a little bit, blur. And smooth this all up. Okay. So now important is to leave the rest masked because you basically have the intaglio surface here that will fit very well to the master cast that we have in digital or analog. Now, it's also recommended to have this further masked because whatever I do on one surface, I don't want that it will be not transferred to the other surface. So what I mean by that is, let's say I'm working on the maxillary cast, on the maxillary base plate. When I do any modification in terms of a building or festooning, if I move, let's say I take the move brush and I pull this down, now my intaglio surface will also go down. But if I have this mask, and backface masking is on, then what I do here on this surface, if I pull this down, will actually not influence my intaglio surface. And that's what I want. I want that to be very intimate at the tissue, but I want to modify it on the other side, you know, for purposes of festooning. So that's pretty much very important. And if I have spots that went somehow through and prevent the movement, the same command I can do with control and option and remove those spots, that I can modify this surface without having any interferences here. So let's start masking, or let's start with the process of festooning. Oh, this was the wrong subtool. So I will use this subtool for this. And let's see how the teeth are aligned. So for that reason, I'm just going to go back to the select tool, Control Shift, and I will just leave the teeth in that I'm interested in. Meaning at this point, I really don't want to see the mandibular teeth. And let's start up with the festooning. Now, for the festooning, I will use a couple of brushes, and I will introduce a couple of brushes here as well. So the first brush that I really like is basically for this, it's the inflate brush. This is this brush. So this brush will just inflate basically my mesh. So I would like to have this always on because this is a very like dense mesh. So even if I inflate it, it will change the mesh based on my command. If this is off, it will just inflate the mesh without changing the mesh, which I don't want because I want it to be like as smooth as possible, and this is what this command does. So it actually decreases here the resolution because I'm working with a very big draw size, and if I go to a smaller draw size, it creates a mesh that is actually has more resolution. So again, for this inflate command, I'm not going to show you guys the whole thing. It's just redundant, but for time reasons, I will just do this in fast forward. All right, so we just created a little bit bulk. There's another brush that I would like to show. This is Smooth Elastic. So this brush basically takes the surface and can pull it down to go a little bit more into the fill in a little bit like the proximal spaces. And again, so whatever I do with this brush, it pulls only the unmasked part of the base plate down. And creates this way like bridge. All right. So now I have more or less something that is a little bit better aligned to the teeth. And what I'm doing now is I will show you also the clay build-up burr, which is a really great one. So I'm getting more and more into the details basically of festooning. So the clay build-up burr gives me basically like more of like a square build-up type of tool that I can create the surfaces of the bone and build things up on a smaller scale. Like the way I do it is actually at the beginning I'm more approximate things and go a little bit quick. So Also, with all these burrs, when I push the option button, I will get exactly the inverted effect. Meaning, if I have to create certain concavities, that's what I would push the. And starting sculpting, basically, this is like one of the main things that I love about Zbrush. Here we can create some type of freena. This is the sculpting process that is very easy to do in Zbrush, and it's probably one of the main advantage of this software. And you can see that at this point everything looks a little bit more random, but I will get to how to make this a really nice, create a really nice anatomy here. And again, here a little bit concavity, create some sort of three-dimensional type of architecture. Need a little bit more of this canine, a little bit more here. Now, obviously, we can combine all these burrs and play around and move this a little bit more faster in certain directions. Okay. All right, here we go. This canine needs a little bit more here. There. So this is really like the ability how artistic you can be with this, and how much you want to go into details. And we will go in more details, and I'll explain this as well, but as for now, I just want to get this standard stuff done. Just create here a little bit more of a round ledge, proper denture too. Okay, a little bit less here. And if you want to go really crazy, obviously you can also do that and create a little bit more of the rugae area and papilla, and yeah, make this denture really nice. Don't forget, whatever you do on the palette may have also a little bit an influence on speech. So yeah, this is a little bit standing out. I don't know why that happened, but let's move this away. And I want to introduce also another verb, which is called the Damian standard, the DAM standard. So this brush will be able to create like very fine lines, like the midline, and can define certain things. This is a fantastic verb to create more definition. You can see that. Okay, here we can really go make things very defined and go a little bit. So since this software is used as a sculpting tool, there's a lot of brushes that can be used for this, but this is a little bit my preferred way of doing this. And my buddy Nathan finally like asked me like to give it a little demo, and that's what I'm doing. So this is actually, it's a lot of fun, and it looks a little bit rough. So usually what I do is a combination of all these brushes, and then what I always do is There's also the standard burr, which creates just like more like some sort of round circle. It can be added. But what I do most of the time is you have to keep, for example, the standard brush on, and then if you push the shift button, you go back into smooth mode. And I create some anatomy, and then I go back in smooth mode and smooth this a little bit out, because I want to create some sort of like organic type of feeling, and this all these rough edges, they are not so ideal. So this is like a little bit the fine tuning of all this tuning part that you can spend a lot of time with if you want. And it's for somebody who wants to print a digital denture, it's very like customized. It's a fantastic way of doing it. So maybe we turn this off because I don't want to make this. So here we go, a little bit more. Smooth this all a little bit up, and go a little bit back with the burrs and create more of a clay brush. Is also very nice. It doesn't create this extreme square appearance. It's more like as it says, like a clay type of brush. The can needs definitely a little bit more of the we need a little bit more on the can. Even if this denture seems to be kind of short on that canine, it's better to have it. And, back to this new brush. No. So let's see what we have here. Still don't like the canine so much. We can pull this a little bit more out. Also, the zenith is not ideal, so we'll just go a little bit like that. Pulling things a little bit more out in certain areas that we would like to. Putting in standard brush again here, maybe creating more of a definition of the film. So here. Saving it here and there. Now this is just like playing around a little bit with the brushes. You can fast forward. I'm having some fun here. Make this a little bit more interesting in terms of a denture, soft tissue. So, okay. Obviously, if you have softwares, for example, Exocad, you can import your STL files and or OBJ files and skip the whole setup part and just work a little bit on the festooning itself, which is actually a lot of fun if you enjoy to do this kind of work. But you know, you kind of can see that we're moving along, and this denture has already a little bit more character to it, and yeah. All right, so this part is the part that I would like to show, and it's basically the festooning part. Now you can go crazier than that, but I think for the purpose of this video, this is good enough. Now the next thing that I want to show is how to stipple it, because this is a thing that Zbrush can do, and it's very unique to this software. Okay, so now what we have is basically the denture that we festooned a little bit, and I would like to show a feature that I really like that Zbrush can do, and this is playing with the alphas. So to use alphas, what I do is using the standard brush. I'm using the drag rectangle, and I'm using of all the alphas for stippling this alpha 7. So what an alpha is basically is like a brush head almost. So when I go over the denture, it depends how far I pull it, I can make a three-dimensional change to it. Now, if I use the drag rectangle, like this is what I get as a result, which is a little bit exaggerated in terms of stippling. So let's just remove this. But there are other ways of doing it. For example, color spray. So if I do that, I'm getting actually something that looks really like stippling, and I can go ahead and do some stippling on my 3D printed denture, and I think this is really phenomenal because this is not like rendering or something that is drawn on. It's actually real 3D anatomy that will be you know, captured in the 3D print. And if you combine this with different different colors, you can get like an unbelievable anatomic, realistic looking denture. So you can see that this is so easy to do. This doesn't take me long at all. So here we go. A little bit stippling in 3D. Now, just to show you that this is not drawn on, you can go and see that this is real anatomy. So like all my surfaces are actually changed, and we have this stippling effect here everywhere. And yeah, I think it looks beautiful. So for creating something really unique, you can use alphas, and this looks pretty awesome. All right, thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy this one, and I hope you find this useful.